the $100 cage match between Mukose Emmanuel and Kamoga Rajab. This is game 5. Both players have 2 points each, and this is like a deciding game. They're going to play 10 games in the cage, and Emma goes ahead to play e4, and Kamoga takes his time to see the best move in the position. He lost game 1 against Mukose in the French defense, and he also went on to win game 2. Then Emma won game 3, and then Rajab won game 4. So this is a 2-2 game. Oh my god, he goes ahead and plays e6, the French defense, and Emma goes ahead to play d4. After d5, Emmanuel goes ahead and plays e5, the advanced French variation. Now you see that the bishop, which is on c8, has difficulties in being developed, and by far pawn c5 is the main line. Let's see what Rajab has on the mind. He goes and plays c5, and then pawn c3, then queen b6. You see that now pressures are mounting on the pawn, which is on d4. That's why Mukose Emmanuel goes ahead and plays knight f3, trying to defend the pawn. At the same time, he's also developing a piece. In this position, knight c6 is the main move by far, followed by bishop d7. Also, knight e7 can also be seen in the position, but let's see what Rajab has prepared for the game. So he takes his time to play the next move. So he plays knight c6. Bishop d3 is always played, setting a cheap trap to take the pawn, which is on d4. You can lose your queen, and plays bishop d3. So in this position, the pawn which is on d4 is a poisoned pawn, so Emma plays it, takes, then pawn takes, and then he plays bishop d7. So Emma goes ahead and plays short castling, and in this position, after short castling, he gambits a full pawn which is on d4. Yes, Rajab takes it, knight takes pawn. Yeah, he goes ahead and drops the knight comes to d2. So if he takes knight on f3, knight takes knight on f3, and white has gotten compensation. So Rajab takes back the knight, and the main move in this position is going ahead to play a6, and Emma goes ahead to play rook e1. This is a new move in the position. Let's see what he has prepared for Rajab. In this position, bishop c5 is by far the main move, which can be, because bishop c5 can put pressure on the pawn which is on f2, and the most interesting thing is that the rook has to go back on f1 to defend, because now also the knight can still come in on b4, attacking the bishop which is on d3. In case bishop goes to b1, then the bishop can still come in on b5 and can be attacking the rook. Let's see what Rajab has prepared for Emma on the game. So this is a very interesting position to play, but just know that he lost the first game in the French defense, so he has a lot to prove. And Emmanuel, this is a tough cage match. Both of them have 2 points each. Emma has 2 points, Rajab has 2 points, and $100 is the stake which has been put by their sponsor, that is the Chessbox Worldwide channel, which has sponsored this cage match. Yes, he sees it, he finds it, he plays bishop c5, trying to put pressure. So the main move has to play rook f1. Oh my god, Emmanuel blunders the game and plays queen e2, and knight b4 comes in instantly. Now the difference happens that there is no way Emmanuel is going to jump out of this, because now let's try out some moves. For example, in case of bishop coming to b1, then the immediate bishop b5 is winning on the spot. Remember, the queen has to put an eye on the pawn which is on f2. So there is no way where the queen is going to go. So I don't know what Emmanuel is thinking playing that move. Let's go back. After knight b4, let's try another move. In case white goes ahead and plays rook f1, then the immediate knight takes, and in case of queen takes, then bishop b5 is a very powerful move. Now you see that the bishop brings down the queen against the rook, and also the bishop is also eyeing the pawn which is on f2. So it is a very tough position to play. So let's go back. After knight b4, if he plays rook f1, then knight takes, bishop on b3. After queen takes, then bishop comes to pin down the queen. Then at least he can try to play queen coming to b3, and in case of bishop takes, then the queen, bishop takes rook, then he can try to exchange the queens, and after bishop takes, then king can take the bishop. At least this one will be a trying move, but let's see what he has on the mind, because chess is interesting. You can think of something and then it comes up with something far better than what we are seeing on the board. And chess is psychological. There's some electricity which can happen to be on the board, so you have to think accordingly for everything to be aligned accordingly. Let's see what move is going to play in the position, because this is almost busted for Emmanuel. It's a very strong move. Knight b4 has been a very strong move. He decides to play, he plays knight g4. Oh my god. I don't know what he's trying to plan, but this almost loses a rook, because I'm seeing was like knight takes bishop, and indeed he goes knight takes, and after queen takes, then the bishop has to take the pawn which is on f2 and losing the queen. I'm seeing bishop coming on f2, losing the rook. Bishop takes, and he has to go away from the rook. King h1 should be played. If he plays any other funny move, he loses the queen, because if he goes for king comes to f1, then the bishop can pin down the queen against the king. So it means king h1 should be played in a position. He removes the cape, he touches the hair, he sees that the hair is back on the head, he puts back the cape, and now he has to think, give us a move going to play. Is he willing to give up a full piece, or is going to give up a queen? He plays king f1, and now that invites bishop coming to b5, pinning the queen. Oh, he finds it. Bishop b5, pinning down the queen. And now, if he takes, still has to take it, and then at least he can get a bishop pair. Oh my god. He plays queen e2. After bishop takes rook, remember the piece is pinned down. King takes, and then the bishop, and then king takes. And even if he plays queen coming to g1, is also a good move. Attacking the pawn which is on g2 can also be good. Even if he plays rook c8, okay, he plays rook c8, which is a good move. And now he's planning to bring the rook on c2, trying to bring all the pieces in the game to see what. He plays knight b3. He's trying to open up for the bishop at least to be played. Either bishop comes to a3, attacking the queen. Also, that also is a good move. Trying to open up for the rook. At least the rook also can have some harmony to play. Let's see what is on the mind of Rajab. Rajab takes his time. He knows now he's leading the cage, because now after this game will have 3 points. He enters with rook check. So bishop has to be played, because you can't play any other funny move, because the queen will come in. Bishop comes to b2. And now the pawn which is on b2 is hanging. Can bring in the second piece in the attack. This rook which is on h8 should come in. So either to develop knight, either knight coming to h6 or knight e7 can also be good moves to castle. And then bring, yes, because knight h6, good move. You see that the knight can either come on f5 or knight g4, and all these squares, you look at the diagonal is being dominated by the queen. So all those are good moves from Rajab, and Emma has to just try his luck to play on, because now he needs the $100. Okay, he plays rook comes to, he was trying to attack the pawn which was on f7, then short castling defends the pawn instantly, and now he has to think of the way, because now the knight was doing nothing. He brings back the knight, and now in this position you see that now the rook should be joining the party. Rook c8, rook fc8 should join the party, because that's also a move which has to come in the game. It's a good move, so Rajab should think of such a move. Yes, he sees it. He finds rook c8, and he has to play good chess, because now he knows he's winning. And now pawn b2 is hanging. At the same time, the knight can also come in either on g4 or f5 to attack these weak squares. So remember the queen is also here. All the squares are there, so he goes back to defend his pawn, and now knight can come in on g4, and I don't know how he's going to plan to go out of the attack. Knight coming to g4 is a very powerful move. All these squares are going to be there. Let's see if he finds this move. It's a simple move, so he has to take his time. Even knight comes to f5 is also a good move. Okay, he finds it. Knight g4. He has to try to defend the king. Okay, he plays knight blocking the path of the queen. But now this gives out material. Knight can still take the pawn, which is on f5. Okay, sees queen h6 check, and Emmanuel should first of all see where to place his king. Pawn will be falling in check, so he goes to king f3, and now the pawn which is on b5 can be taken and can be checked. Knight takes pawn, and be a very good move in the position. Let's see what he has on the mind. All those are good moves. See what he has on the mind. Bringing. Okay, he takes the pawn. Knight takes pawn. Check. King can be very okay. He plays king g3. So it's black to play, and he has to think of, has to simplify the game to win it easily. This is an easy win. Queen d3 check, and the king has to find where it has to go in the piece. So he plays king comes to attack the knight, and this one's almost losing the game on the spot, because now remember the queen has cut off, the rook has cut off, the knight can still go back to check, and I don't know how it's going to come out of this. So it's just a matter of moves. Plays knight d6 checking the king. So now the king can't go anywhere down. He has to come. Yes, he plays king g4. And now I think it's time to reduce the pieces, because now the pieces are too many. So you need to reduce these pieces. This is a cage match. They are allowed to have that digital watches. He has to just reduce the pieces. So it is Rajab to play. Rajab takes his time. He plays queen check. And after queen check, he's trying now to sit down the queen. He's also putting an eye on the pawn, which is on b2. At the same time, also the queen is putting an eye on the rook, which is on b1. So queen goes back to g3. Then yes, this time is now. So rook takes bishop on b2. And you see that in case of knight takes, then the knight which is above here can fall. And also these checks can be so many. So he plays rook. This blunders the whole game, and queen g2 can be almost winning on the spot. So he sees it. Queen takes g2. Emmanuel resigns the game. Yeah, resigns the game.